are we going to be able to vote our way out of this tyranny we're living in? Will a vote be able to change that?
No, it won't. It's just too far gone now. Even if Donald Trump, the great white hope, should get in office this year, this time around, he may bring back jobs. He start drilling again. He may put a fence around the wall, stop all the overflowing of illegal aliens. He may make us safe, but he's not going to be able to stop what's really going on in the country. He's not. It's going to always be a messy vote. It's going to always be the government creating problems for the people. It's going to always be the division between the races. It's going to always be that. I just don't see that coming back. Now, individuals can change. You know, you can work on yourself as an
Yeah.
individual. You overcome the anger. You wake up from this mental state of being that you're in, and you can overcome fear and anger. You can have a good life still, no matter what's happening outside of you, inside of others. God would take care of his own. So you can be fine as an individual, but as far as an American as a whole, that's not going to happen anymore.
Mm.
Well, I suspect that myself, but of course I hope we're wrong
Right.
because it seems like people are waking up so, in such large numbers. As far as, like the left, they have their I don't know what the word is, but people that just repeat the stuff they tell them to repeat. They're in
Yes.
Talking
harmony with it.
puppets.
But the right,
Right.
but the right has it too. Where
Yes.
they got their own. So I mean, people who are thinkers are somewhere in the middle and accept a little bit of. Well, we believe in truth wherever we find it, right?
That's right. Absolutely. And you're right. I even say now that we only have one party system now. At one time, there was a Republican Party and a Democratic Party, but now it's a one party system because even many of the Republican representatives are about themselves.
Yeah.
They're about power and money for themselves. They don't care about we, the people. They really are in it for themselves. Look how they send money to Ukraine. Look how they are not really closing down the borders. They're not really doing anything. They hold these little meetings going after Joe Biden and his son. But what good is that doing us, you know? It's not
No.
doing it. They're not stopping the money from Ukraine. We should be putting that money to close down the borders to deport these people. But and I noticed too that the Republicans, they are catering to the blacks too. They are trying
Yeah.
to get blacks to be in the party, but not because they're the best, but because they're black or they're female, because they're just trying to get the votes so that they can stay in. It's the
Mhm.
same thing. We have a one party system now.
I think it. I think that I have to agree with you there. It's just the money party, right?
Yes.
It's anything for money. They don't care about our country. They don't. They certainly don't care about any individual rights. Which is like there's so many levels to it. But
Yes.
I was happy to see that more black people were coming over to the Republican side and waking up as to they're just prisoners of the Democrat Party. I almost
They
said Democrat,
are. They-
but they're just they're just social prisoners. And I'm Jewish, that, and I feel like the Jews are too. They're all just owned by the Democrats, their body, mind, and soul. They cannot think. They'll be out there marching against their own best interests, both these groups. And
yeah.
I love how you confront on that. Uh, I just think it's hilarious, but it's so brave, and you do make it funny. But the way these people look that come on your show, it just is like they did get hit in the head with a big old hammer, and it's like they're stunned. Like we used to call in Utah when I grew up, we used to call it the stunned ox look because it
Yeah.
was meat packing houses where they hit the cow in the head and it just goes. But that's how they look because they're like, how can wait a minute, is anyone really thinking not like me? They look
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah. And I try in my interviews and discussion with people, my whole point or desire is to try to get them to think about stuff, you know. Don't just take anything because I said it or some preacher said it or some pope or some
Yeah.
president or someone. Always think for yourself to know, is this true what I think? What does this really mean? But I noticed that in the interview, most of them still won't get that. They won't. They won't. They just don't get it. I don't know. It's the
I
craziest
think
thing I've ever seen.
they feel terrorized at anybody whose opinion doesn't match theirs word for word. They could agree with you on 8 of 10 things and they'll be real happy, but you get to one thing that there's not ultimate agreement in, and they're just, I guess they're afraid or something, but they turn mean.
Yes, they do. The nastiness come out. I can ask them, "Do you love white people?" They'll be like, "What?" They're like, "I love all people. Do you love white people?" "I love all people. Do you love white people?" They can't even say yes or no to that. And I've had guests tell me, "Well, I can't answer that question." White guests, "I can't answer that. I'll look like a racist." How are you going to look like a racist to say you love white people? If you don't love all people, you love none. So why can't you just say yes or no? But they're afraid that they're going to look like a racist or something.
Well, don't you feel like they're afraid they're going to be exposed for what really is underneath all that? Underneath all that self-righteous talk about how they're the saviors of humanity, they are a racist.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be afraid to say it, right? They are protecting something.
They're hiding something.
Oh, you see.